This thing on?
Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. If you're new, I hope you give me a chance to win you over. I wanted to start this episode with a quick reading from email that I received a few days ago. I subscribe to the Order of Man emails. It's totally free, and they send you pretty cool information, pretty cool emails from encouragement to advice, stuff that sometimes a guy just needs to hear, whether it's just to refocus or to light a fire under your ass. Most guys will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I thought this was really appropriate, really easy to apply to pretty much all our lives. And it's based on that lesson, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And I really love that saying. I've taught it to my kids, from the 7-year-old to the 5-year-old to the 3-year-old. If you see that they're frustrated and kind of getting a little, emotional, all you got to do is like, hey, buddy, slow is smooth. And they're going to look at you and they're going to finish it. They're going to say, smooth is fast. You give them knuckles and they're right back at it. And I love that. So I wanted to just quickly read through this. It says, ruthlessly eliminate hurry from your life, by Dallas Willard. How much stress, how many mistakes, how many missed opportunities come from your addiction to speed? Always multitasking, always behind, never fully present. And that's not hustle, that's just sloppy. You don't need more time, you need less waste. This cycle of mindlessly wasting time only to frantically race through real priorities, that's not just poor time management, that's a disservice to all. This is what happens when you live by cultural norms rather than your own sovereignty. If your schedule has no margin, that's on you. You set your boundaries. If they're making you frantic, unfocused, and ineffective, it's your job to fix them. Slow down. Take control. Resist the rush. I thought it was really appropriate. Like I said, I think we can apply it to all our lives, and thought I would share that with you at the start of this video. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Now, getting down to business, I wanted to hit on 3 main points tonight. Number 1, the Democrats absolutely losing their shit this week. Number 2, Trump's plan for apparent genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza. And number 3, Trump's precedent for future government appointees and elected officials. Okay, so starting off with that first point about Democrats just going crazy this week. I tell you, I haven't seen them this upset since yesterday. I say that to be funny, obviously, because you would think that to be this upset, this angry, day after day after day would be exhausting. I know it's exhausting to listen to them, I know that much, and I'm pretty sure most people would agree. You can only cry wolf so many times, you can only run out screaming that the sky is falling so many times before people just start looking at you like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're so disconnected, you look annoying. People are just not wanting to listen to that anymore. They're not going to fall for it. This week they went out to protest Elon and DOGE, doing exactly what they said they would. All during Trump's campaign, you heard that he was going to have Elon audit, certain agencies, the whole government even. And this week he audited USAID and exposed so many things that they were doing with our taxpayer money. I mean, they were funding all kinds of just stupid, unnecessary shit. Take this, 1.5 million to Serbian LGBTQ groups for DEI, 2 million for trans surgery in Guatemala, 10 million to Al Qaeda linked groups. How about this? A total of 164 million to radical organizations around the globe, including to Gaza, which Gaza is controlled by Hamas, a known terrorist organization. Also, Trump this week signed the order to ban men from women's sports. And so you have these Democrats going out in droves to protest and to just go against anything and everything that Trump and his administration tries to do. The problem is, like Scott Jennings kind of pointed out, they are these 80-20 issues. 80% of the population is on the side of, common sense, which Trump has campaigned on common sense. And so for the Democrats who are so keen on opposing Trump, they're left with going with the 20%, which, if you're going against common sense, that makes you look like a lunatic. And that's what they look like now. They're just deranged, hysterical. Their favorite talking point right now is the citizens didn't vote for this. They didn't vote for Elon. But Elon was right next to Trump during his campaign stops. They talked about Doge way before the election. So I don't see how they could make that argument stick. The problem is they're worried. They're scared, that their way of life is coming to an end. All the money that we're discovering, that all the information that is being made available to the U.S. citizens is damning for them, and that's why they're upset. They're gonna say, "Oh, Elon has your private information and your money, and you shouldn't let him do that." You know, all the while, what they're actually worried about is their money, their information being out and about for everyone to see just how crooked they are. I can't remember exactly what uh, news organization mentioned this, but I wrote this down because I thought it was pretty interesting. It's a term called quantum computing, and I kind of looked into it briefly. What it is they're using this to prevent money laundering, terrorist financing, and other criminal offenses like insider trading or market manipulation. This quantum computing can assist financial institutions and the government in detecting patterns indicative of illegal activities by utilizing machine learning and AI algorithms with previously unattainable computational power. So, what they're trying to do is to make this kind of work for them in the sense that they're trying to trace, you know, money coming from this organization, coming from here, that at plain sight, it may not look like it's all linked. But with this quantum mapping, they're going to be able to explore multiple paths through transaction networks. They're going to find these hidden connections. And I feel like if this is true, that they're going to be able to apply this to what Elon is doing. It's just a matter of time before all of the crooked bureaucrats, all of their shady business dealings come crumbling down, crashing really on top of them. I will put up the link to the website that I got this information for right now, in case you are interested and want to kind of look more into it for yourself. Now let's talk about Trump's supposed plan for genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Seriously, guys, what the fuck? I mean, what are they going to come up with next? What Trump was talking about was he spoke about taking over the Gaza Strip and rebuilding it into something beautiful. He called it the Riviera of the Middle East. And because right now it's currently inhabitable in a lot of the areas. It's just rubble, buildings toppled over. There's still dangers, weapons and bombs probably that they would need to clear out. Basically, the people there have no real home. So he wants to come in and provide some type of help building up the infrastructure and making it a beautiful place. However, some people are saying that, isn't that a contradiction to, what he campaigned on as far as not getting involved in other countries, not getting involved in wars or sending money, to other countries instead of focusing on the United States. But in reality, he hasn't committed to any type of boots on the ground effort. He actually wants to broker a deal with the surrounding countries to have them pay for what is going to be done there in Gaza. I think though what's really going on is he's just floating this idea out there. He's just saying it. We kind of see the same thing in part with the tariffs, how he's brought nations to the negotiating table. I think this is one of those type of tactics where he's going to throw this idea out. Sounds outlandish, but it might get those countries thinking, hey, let's get to a certain understanding, certain agreement, because we don't want the U.S. getting involved. Greg Gutfeld kind of had a really good take on it. He said it's like kids fighting over the TV remote. One kid wants to watch Disney, the other one wants to watch sports, and one wants to watch, something on Animal Planet or something like that. And all the while, they're just bickering back and forth until dad comes along and says, hey, you know what? Now I'm taking it. Now we're going to do what I want to do. We're going to watch what I want to watch. So I think that's kind of the case. We're just going to have to see what happens. Obviously, this is a very out of the box, type of thinking, but that's what Trump does. He's taking it as a business deal. He's going to have that approach, and he's going to leverage anything and everything that he has at his disposal to ultimately, get to the outcome that he is wanting. Leverage equals outcome, guys. Next, let's talk about President Trump setting a new precedent. And, what exactly I mean by that. Well, Trump was never really supposed to be president. Back in 2016, when he first announced that he was running, not a lot of people took him seriously, me included. No one was like, oh yeah, he's going to be the perfect candidate. No, but he won. In 2020, I'm not saying that it was outright stolen, but it was rigged. Come on. Also, in 2024, I mean, he was just never supposed to have a second term, right? But here we are. His approach is totally unconventional. He's not our grandparents' president. He's the president for these times. And so he doesn't think in terms of no, and we can't do this, we shouldn't do that. He thinks in terms of, well, why not? And we'll see. And not only that, but he has set the bar high. He has set the pace at a speed that his counterparts, his administration, his picks, they're trying to keep up with him. And I feel like, this attitude of let's get it done now, not let's get it done, whenever, eventually. No, let's get it done now. It has a trickle effect. He's trickle down effect, I should say. He's leading from the front. And those of you who have read, Jocko and Leif Babin book, Extreme Ownership, know that lesson. You lead from the front, and it'll pass down to your subordinates. Also, Trump, he is a successful businessman. He's learned many lessons along the way. But one thing that I feel like isn't talked about a lot is how successful people surround themselves with people who are more intelligent than they are. They surround themselves with experts in specific fields. So, like, if he doesn't have the answer or a solution to a specific problem, you can be damn sure that he has someone in his staff that does have that answer, that will be able to solve that solution. And he is going to take them aside, talk with them, try to understand as much as he can so that he knows what he's talking about when he gets up, on the podium, or when he goes to meetings with foreign, presidents and dictators, or what have you, foreign leaders, I should say. And this also has kind of a spillover effect into his cabinet picks. We see RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, among many others, that they're labeled as disruptors. These people were not taken seriously. They were criticized about not having the experience to run these agencies or these departments. They were never supposed to be the heads of these departments, but here we are. And it calls to mind the end scene of that movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. At the very end, they're all in prison, and Winston Churchill goes to visit them. And he walks into the room, and he ends with saying, What is to be done with this unruly company who do not obey orders, who seem to have formed their own ministry of ungentlemanly warfare? From now on, they work for me. And there's this big sense of redemption and validation for this group and everything they've gone through, everything that they've done in service for their country. And I feel like that's exactly what we're going to end up seeing play out with this administration for Trump and for all his picks. Either way, it's going to be really interesting, seeing everything play out, seeing how everything goes. Thank you for stopping by again. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button too so you can see whenever I post something new. And as always, comment, give me your feedback. Let's talk about certain details in the video, or if you find like there's a topic that I maybe glazed over or I totally missed and you want me to look into it, comment, and I'll do my best to look into it for you and report back what I find. Thanks, guys.